Hello guys, and welcome back to the final episode of Big Brother UK. And in this episode, we are going to be talking all about the finale. And I gotta say, it was a very, very satisfying finale to watch. I watched it with some friends and we had some Prosecco, some champs, and just really celebrated the fact that we'd committed to watching an entire season of a reality show, because normally most of us get bored halfway through or whatever, but we made it to the end and it was such a great conclusion. And yeah, it was just a really, really fun time. So once again, I'm just going to say thank you guys so much for the support on this series. I've got some really interesting things in the lineup. Sunday is when I'm a Celeb starts, so I'm very excited to start watching that and start doing some videos on that as well. I'm also taking a look at Big Brother 25 over on the US side. I know it might not be everyone's cup of tea, but please check out those videos, see whether it interests you. It is actually really entertaining if you give it a chance. It's very different to the UK version, but I still really enjoy it, and I think you guys will as well, especially if you love drama and you love people playing games, because that's pretty much all it is over there, as well as some really wholesome, heartwarming moments. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and make sure to like, comment, subscribe, leave your thoughts in the description, not in the description, in the comment section, and I'll do my best to respond to you. And yeah, thank you guys very, very much. So let's get straight into the episode. And there wasn't a lot of house highlights in this episode. Fortunately, the finale was kind of evict one, interview them, evict another one, interview them, evict someone else, etc., etc., for pretty much the whole episode. And I thought that is probably the perfect way to do a finale, personally. There were some interesting moments, like we saw they had like their little dinner meeting, their final supper, which was very, very cute. They each gave a little speech about how much it meant for them to be here. Can't think of anything that was like that stood out as like something that I wanted to talk about from that, but there was a moment that we saw on Late and Live the previous night, and they said something along the lines of Jordan, they showed a clip of Jordan getting up and being like, guys, you know, I was called to the diary room earlier. That's because the 12th person to be evicted from the hat. And everyone was like, oh, what? And he went, no, I'm just joking. And they genuinely thought he was being serious. And this is why I was backing Jordan for the win. He was such an incredible, funny person in the house. And I feel sorry for the people who don't necessarily see that. I have to say, the eviction order, like 5th to 1st, somewhat surprised me. There were, I think I in my original predictions, I got 2 out of 5 correct. Although if we were going for who I wanted to win, then 3 out of 5 correct. But I gotta say, there were some shocks along the way. I genuinely wasn't expecting some people to be eliminated or to be evicted where they were evicted. So let's start with our 5th place. Our 5th place person was Noki. Also, I just want to say, I think top 5 finales are much better than top 6 finales. Top 6 just feels like there's too many people. Top 5 felt quite good. So yeah, Noki was our 5th place evictee, and I gotta say, she handled herself with poise as she left the house. She did the whole model sort of wave. And I gotta say, I think her exit interview was actually really lovely as well. I didn't really have much that I learned from the exit interview. There was, of course, the fact that she mentioned that she felt like her journey had started around Halloween, and she felt like up until that point she was coasting through. She hadn't really made genuine connections with people yet. And I thought that it was good that she acknowledged that, because I did agree. I felt like she was coasting in the first 3 weeks, and then obviously once she was the possessed housemate, I felt like that's when we truly got to see who she is and what she brings to the table, which I thought was really lovely as well. Little side note before we move on to 4th place, Matty chopped all of his hair off, which was crazy. Like, he's now got a very, very short haircut. I don't know whether I'll be able to find a picture of it, but I gotta say, it looks a lot better. I wasn't a massive fan of his hair in the house, but I think it looks a lot better now. And yeah, he's still got the moustache, and the moustache is annoying me, but I think it works a little bit better now. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, I just thought that was very interesting. It was a case of like, I was looking and I was like, who is that? And then I squinted and I went, oh, that's Matty. That's great. That's a crazy transformation. So, fourth place was announced as Yinrun, and the shock that registered on my face, like, I don't think I've ever been so shocked at a reality show outcome in my life. I genuinely thought Yinrun was going to win. Not necessarily who I wanted to win, but definitely the person that I thought, like, would have won from what the public was saying. But fourth place is crazy. Like, I really expected, if she wasn't going to win, to come second at the lowest, but to come fourth, that was a bit of a shock, I gotta say. However, I think with Yinrun out of the way, it was very clear who was going to win the series from that point. I think Yinrun's exit was so cute, bless her. She felt so overwhelmed by just the sheer amount of cheers. I do stand by the fact that it sucks because the people who are at the final in person couldn't vote, and a lot of Yinrun supporters were there. So, like, you never know. It might not have made a difference. It might have made a difference, but a significant chunk of people, like 300 or 400 people, that's like a couple thousand votes. And the fact that, yeah, it's 2,000 votes. Let's say if there's 400 people, that's 2,000 votes per thing. That's crazy. That's a crazy amount of votes. I don't think it would have mattered actually when they posted the sort of results, but you never know. Her exit interview was so lovely. She spoke about how her boyfriend supported her sort of through the application process, making sure that her English was strong and that she could go in and she could understand British culture. I thought that was really, really lovely. And there was also a conversation about how she cries a lot in the house, and she said, no, I do just cry a lot. And she said that she was looking around the house thinking there's not a single place in this house where I haven't cried. And she also said that the same about laughing as well. She said she's laughed everywhere in the house, which was lovely. I just think she was such an incredible housemate. And she said when she walked in, she was really worried because she thought she wasn't as beautiful as like some of the other girls in the house, and that broke my heart to hear. It really did, because I think she's such a lovely soul. And just, yeah, it always breaks my heart when people say things like that, because I think, oh, shush, please don't say that. Don't say that. You are wonderful and you deserve the world, Yinrun. Genuinely, you deserve the world. Third place turned out to be Henry, and I gotta say, did not expect Olivia to make top two. If you'd have told me that at the start of the series, I would have said you are lying to me. In fact, if you'd have told me, apart from Yinrun, that any of the top five were in the top five at the end, I would have said you are lying. But the fact that we've gone on this journey and every single one of them deserved to be in that final just proves how incredible they are. And Henry's exit, he did the hand thing. It was quite funny. He came out. There seemed to be a lot of support. I don't know why people were booing him. I don't know why people were booing anyone at the final, because none of them are horrible people at the end of the day. And I think it was a bit unfair to hear boos from the audience that I think were unwarranted. It's fine when they've done something to deserve it, like Chanel, like Paul, like Dylan, like Jenkin and Tom. But like when it's the five people in the house who have actually been quite sweet and lovely, why are you booing them? Anyway, back to the point. So his exit interview was quite interesting. He finally got some champagne, which was really, really funny. He necked it as well. He was straight down the hatch, which was quite funny. And he was talking about how he never really expected to be like third, which I guess is fair. Not everyone expects that they're going to make it to the final, and I think, yeah, I didn't expect him to make it to third place, but he really showed how authentic and genuine he is. And I think that's the making of a good housemate, is someone who grows. He said he grew a lot in the house, which I completely agree with. I think the way he came in was very different to the way he left. His time in the house has changed him, and hopefully for the better. I believe so. He he was shocked to learn that the hot tub scenes had aired, and he also confirmed that Jordan had said at the start of the series that he would never get in that hot tub, and well, we know on multiple occasions that he did. But it was just funny to see his reactions to the hot tub scenes. I don't know why you'd think that they wouldn't make the air, because what I did think that they were slightly naive when they said that. But yeah, talking about Jordan, he basically said that he couldn't imagine the process without him, and I just thought that was so beautiful and so lovely. And Henry's mum approves of Jordan, which is lovely, and oh, just can't wait to like keep up with their relationship outside of the house. It's going to be so cute. Also, they did confirm that the word platonic, or they meant it, they confirmed it in like a roundabout way, that the word platonic is an inside joke and it's not genuinely platonic. And I think it all stems back to like ancient Greek philosophers. Was it Plato and Socrates? I think it was. And they like, people have often theorized that they might have been more than friends, so that's why they've said platonic. That's what I think, that's where the word platonic came from. Maybe I might be getting my etymology wrong, I don't know. So second place was Olivia, which left Jordan as our winner. We will get to Jordan in just a second, but let's talk about Olivia and the journey she went on. If I was to give an award for best journey in the house, Olivia would have to win it. She'd have to, because she was my least favorite night, like launch night. Week 2, I liked her a lot more. Week 3, disliked her a lot more. Week 4, oh no, I think week 2 and week 3 I liked her. Week 4 I disliked her. Week 5 I disliked her. And then this final week I've loved her again, and she's been genuinely so entertaining. I don't think that there was ever a moment where I was like, I want her out of the house now, because there were always worse people. But to come second is a strong feat. There wasn't actually as many votes as I thought between Olivia and Henry. It seemed that she was I think she was around 30,000 votes away, which sounds like a lot, I know, which I think that's about 6,000 people putting all 5 votes on her. But when you think about the viewership of this show, there was all the votes. Essentially, people have been able to put votes on people. That was the worst way of explaining it. They've had the vote before Matty left, the vote after Matty left, the vote after Noki left, the vote after Yinran left, the vote after Henry left. So that's 5 votes. So a total of, you could have put 25 votes. I put 25 votes on Jordan, but people could have put 25 votes on whoever they wanted, or split them however you wanted to. Olivia coming second is an incredible feat. Her exit was, I think, the best of the season. She had so much fun. It was iconic, and it was so lovely to see the audience react positively towards her, especially because I think she deserved second place. I don't think she deserved to win, but I think she definitely deserved second place. And if she came back for a like Celebrity Big Brother or another Big Brother in the future, I wouldn't argue. She's been a fantastic housemate. She confirmed basically that she went in knowing that her gob would get her in trouble, but she said she wouldn't be me if I didn't have my gob. She felt like she made friends with people from whatever friendship group they were in, and felt like the divide didn't necessarily always apply to her, because she was always very open to hanging out with both groups, getting to know everyone. We saw that from like when she went from like Hallie and Kerry to Paul's group to Yinran's group at the end. They, and I say they, and by they I mean AJ, started a line of questioning that was very uncomfortable to watch, but also very, very sort of like, ooh, this is dramatic. And she was asked about Paul, and she said that Paul is basically her in male form. And then she was asked whether it was purely platonic or whether there would have been something there, and she went, well, he has a girlfriend, so I knew that from the start, and he's not my type anyway, I don't like him, basically all of that, and saying that it was purely platonic, etc., etc. And then AJ just kept digging. She was like, but if he didn't have a girlfriend, and you could see Paul in the background going, and I was like, this is so dramatic for absolutely no reason. Oh my goodness, this is crazy. But yeah, it was actually quite entertaining to watch. She just kept digging, AJ just kept digging. But that was our second place interview. Moving on to our first place interview, we're going to talk about Mr. Jordan, our winner of BB20. Immediately as soon as he won, he turned to Olivia and went, I can finally pay my council tax, which was hilarious. And he was complaining about the exit music that he walked out to. He was like, what was that rubbish? I think Will made a joke about having Debussy for him, which was quite funny. But it really just makes me laugh how the sort of miserable, well, he wasn't miserable, but the guy who has a face like a smack backside won because he's just so dry and funny. And I think that's exactly the kind of person that you need on this show. He was described as the playboy of Big Brother, which was quite funny. And he talked about Matty, and the way he talked about him was he got bored and his eyes wandered, which was quite funny. Jordan, the reason that he became close to Henry is on the first night they were both wearing velvet items of clothing, and he just wanted to beat Henry in the competition, and because obviously they'd come in wearing similar items. And I just thought that's such a lovely start to the friendship / relationship. I think it was in Jordan's interview that he spoke about Plato. So kind of confirms the theory. But yeah, that was essentially the exit interviews, and that was our top 5. Just going to whiz through a couple of points. They gave the floor to the audience, not the audience, the ex-housemates, and said, is there anything you want to get off your chest? Farida basically said, oh, I am in the group chat, or I was invited to the group chat, but like I hadn't accepted because it was just in my sort of message requests. So she is part of the group chat, she just hadn't joined yet. And Tom also apologized for Yinran for being a dick to her, basically, which I think was fair. He should have apologized. I really hope she doesn't take what they said too badly, because it was quite vile at times. But yeah, that was basically it. And then we moved on to the awards, and they had the celebrity house guests. They gave them a little bit too much screen time. If I'm being honest, a lot of it was on them when it should have been on the housemates. But I think it was fine. It was fine. It was late and live. It's not the end of the world. But they did do like a little awards ceremony at the end where each of them gave out an award. Tyler West, the happiest housemate award went to Yinran, which absolutely fair and valid. She was the happiest. Jordan Stevens, I think his name is, biggest shit stirrer or best shit stirrer, he gave it to Kerry. And Kerry did not seem best pleased with that, I'll be honest. And I also don't think she was the biggest shit stirrer. I think you could have given it to Zach. You could have given it to Chanel. You could have given it to Tom or Jenkin. I don't know why it was given to Kerry, and I feel like it was a little bit of a cheap shot, if I'm being honest. The next award was given out by Donna, and it was most entertaining, and most entertaining went to Olivia. I can't argue with that. Honestly, I can't argue with that. Olivia was incredibly entertaining, and she kind of did deserve an award, if not anything else. Do you know what I mean? Yinka gave us the stroppiest award to Jenkin, which, again, very, very fair and valid. And then Babatunde gave Jordan the King of One-Liner medal, which was fair. He definitely had the best one-liners of the series. Just everything that came out of his mouth was hilarious in some way, shape or form. But that's all we have time for today. Thank you guys very, very much for watching. Make sure to check out my Big Brother 25 videos. And also the I'm a Celeb videos that will be coming out from Monday. But thank you guys very, very much for your support on this series. And hopefully see you in March for Celebrity Big Brother. If not, I'll see you back here next autumn for regular Big Brother. Keep on ranting. Bye now.